Hey guys, welcome back to Deep North Adventures. I'm out here on the river, same one from last season, the old trusty. But just out here, first time in the season, figured I'd get out, get a little time in the river, bust up some ice, have some fun. And yeah, we'll see what the winter floods and all that wound up bringing for us. Tell you what, you guys, this water is freezing. Obviously, still ice out here. It'll help toughen up the fingers, right? Something like that. I like this area in here because it's got this big old rich gray clay layer that seems to be pretty good at holding on to stuff, but it's also kind of a pain in the butt to get it to break apart. So usually just kind of break it up a little bit and then sift it around a bit and go from there. I'm sure you guys will notice that the audio is pretty bad on this video. I was super smart, and since it's the first video of the season out in the river, I forgot my microphone. So yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me well enough. And I have found some little pickers in here before, so I always like to just give this a little bit of a look over right here once I throw the classifieds up. And it is 1/8 plus right here, so definitely highly unlikely that I'll actually find anything, but I enjoy having a peek just to see anyways. Whew. That, or if I see any lead or anything like that, I'll grab that too. Get that out of the river. Alright. See how milky gray this stuff looks too. It's definitely a lot of clay in there. But so far it's where I've found the best pieces. This definitely will not be a long video today. It is too cold on the fingers, and I forgot to bring my rubber gloves. But should be long enough to be able to get a couple of specks in the hand at least, hopefully. Pull back on that, see what we got. Definitely plenty of black sand I can see. I'll bring it up here so you guys can see what's going on too. How good a view it's going to be, but yeah, should be all right.
Seeing something shiny, but it looks like pyrite, probably. Yeah, it's floating around too easily to not be pyrite. And it's kind of big, so yeah. Definitely expect it to be pyrite. Pretty good little sized chunk of pyrite right there. I tell you, that's definitely got that shine like it's gold, but it's definitely not. But not with how light it is. Anyways. Yep, there it went. I'm just out testing to see where the deposits actually are this season. So far, I did find one tiny little speck. I didn't even snuffer it up. Actually, that might be it right there. Not that you're actually going to be able to see it, but that might be it right there. Well, I might have more than one in here now, because there's one over here too, and then there's that one I just pointed out. So, a whole 2 absolute micro flea poops. So, it's something. Better than nothing for sure. But nothing that I'm going to consider worth continuing to dig in that spot for. So I think I'm going to move that way just a little bit further. Maybe, I don't know, maybe even out just a hair. No, I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But I'll still be in this general area. There's a nice big rock here. I'm thinking I'd like to put a little peek of what's sitting around it too. Definitely been a ton of water flow up and over this little boulder piece that's right here. Let's see what I can figure out. I think this is good in here. Maybe a whole lot of rock. I'm actually going to go ahead and move you guys up this way a bit more, just so you can actually see a little better than I'm doing here. Maybe. Yeah, so that's the boulder, or extra large cobble, whatever you want to call it. All right. Alright. A lot of clay right in here. So, kind of part of the problem is a lot of this has been washed out and just, you got just a bunch of clay. But I'm hoping that some of these lighter, you know, not lighter, but the gravels that are staying are going to be kind of hosting some of this here glacial gold, you know. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. I might be completely off base. I know that they always say, you know, inside corners, inside bends, but I definitely had some luck with this spot here before, where it is kind of like an S bend, or double S bend really, and then finding deposits. If I'm following the inside bend from that side, where it flows to this side of the river, I found kind of like a little channel that kind of comes in, and it seems like it piles up stuff here, and then the rest of it gets pushed downriver. So we'll see. and freeze the fingers again. Definitely a lot of really interesting rocks out there, that's for sure. You guys know me, I'm a bit of a rock dude. Water's chilly, so you're wet. That's for sure. Make sure I can keep myself in the camera here. This one doesn't look like it's going to have quite as much black sands in it, but we'll see. I'm definitely seeing some, but not a ton. Seeing some good garnets, that's for sure. It's promising. There's like seeing garnets, means I'm in the heavies. This out quick. Okay. That means only specks coming out from under that stuff there. So nothing with note. Fingers are definitely cold and very, very cold. It's a little too square. Definitely some really great garnets, that's for sure. Some big dang chunks of pyrite or some other kind of metal that resembles pyrite or gold.
one, two, tiny little micro dot. Just a little thing. So, again, I'm gonna call this not worth even snuffering up.
Well, that's making me think it might be better to move down to my other area down the river just a little ways. So, I think I'm gonna do that and I'll be back with you guys here in a few minutes, alright? Alright, you guys, I moved down the river a little bit further. I figure I'll give this maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 more pans. But it's starting to get a little late and the sun's starting to go down. So I'm not going to spend too long playing around. I'm going to get back home. I got a bunch of other stuff to do anyway. Your responsibilities never end. If I'm not too careful, I might end up getting my boots full of water. It's pretty deep right here this time of season. Anyway, it's not like deep right here. I'm thinking it's gotten washed out quite a bit. But we'll see what we can find. Definitely a little bit of yikes. See all the foam in the water from the PFAS and stuff that's going on. Nasty, for sure. This is basically a little bit of gravel and a lot of sand on top. I'm going to take a little bit from in front of and behind this couple of little logs that are down right here. But this is a gravel bar, so I'm not taking anything out as far as like the bank. The bank is up there and continues that way. This is all gravel bar here. Sandstone, stuff like that. All right. Definitely looks like just a bunch of sugar sand right in here, but you know, oddly enough, last season we were getting, you know, decent gold count per pan. Nothing crazy, but it was decent. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's all right. I don't know how well you guys can see, but it goes from nothing to like almost a foot deep within like 2 feet of the bank. Whoa, don't go down there. Like I was saying, I'm liable to wind up with a boot full of water if I'm not careful. And I did not want to throw on my waders, so I'm not going deep into the water at all, that's for dang sure. Those waders, although they work great, they are just a little bit of a pain in the butt to put on and take off, you know. Plus, I'm not planning on spending a whole lot of time out here, just you know, maybe an hour or so. A lot of really muddy stuff right in here. Now, let's see how this does.
A lot of this gold is so super tiny glacial stuff that, you know, you gotta agitate it, wash a little off the top. Don't wash out too much because you're liable to not have the glacial gold having settled far enough quite yet. Agitate it more, wash it a little more. Oh, my hands are actually getting used to the water temperature at least, so that's good. Finally, just when I'm actually planning to not stay a whole lot longer, my hands start doing fine with it. Go figure it. There it goes. Yes. This is definitely showing a lot of heavy black sand in there. I can feel it even. The hand feels a heck of a lot heavier than the last couple over there where there was a lot more like water pressure coming from around the bend. So maybe we're at a good settle out point for this super light gold. We'll see. I do like the Garrett Super Sluice for being able to get the larger amount of stuff down quickly. But once it gets to this point, it's either, you know, once it's down to about that point, it's either work on washing it back or switch over to the other Garrett Sluice, which at the moment, unfortunately, I'm not remembering the name. It's similar size to the 15-inch or 15-inch or whatever this is. The Gold Trap. This one is definitely, I say definitely, but it's probably my favorite pan out of all the different ones, as far as like the Garrett ones go. But there's definitely others out there that are just as good or better, you know, in their own ways. All these pans have their own special things that they're good at, I feel like. This one is the Super Sluice is kind of a knock it down pan, you know, knock it down to a manageable level. And then I feel like this one here is more the get the last of the fine sands, the blonde sands out and go from there. And then you can even go even further if you want to for the cleanup sluices or cleanup pans, you know, where they don't have the indented ribs like these. Not that you guys can see what I'm doing now, but
They don't have the indented ribs. They have the riffles. They have the raised riffle where it's actually up off the surface of the pan. Those ones are, I feel like, quite good for doing like as a final cleanup pan.
I tend to even use those after I ran everything through like a cleanup buddy or what have you else, just to get like that extra level of cleanup, to get all the final amounts of blonde sands out, and to go from there with it, to get to where you know 90% or so dealing with just the black sands and the gold. And then you can get it down to just the gold from there using those cleanup pans, even after the little cleanup sluices.
And I don't have like a you know, a Miller table or something like that where it'll take it down
To the final, you know, final amounts. It would be awesome to have a shaker table or something like that, but those are very expensive pieces of machinery, and I'm just doing this as a hobby, so the cost to benefit there would not be logical. Gotta say, the sound of the water here rushing over the log is both an ominous and an amazing sound at the same time. Very peaceful, but hearing the upflow and current, even just sitting here, seeing the water level getting a little bit deeper, just sitting here, having to get deeper going over that log is kind of like, oh boy, the water level is definitely coming up, I feel like. There's definitely times of year here on this body of water that the whole gravel bar that I'm working right here is underwater, and sometimes even a couple of feet of water. What that is? There's some silvery looking bits in here floating around. They seem kind of light, but not light enough to where they just wash right down. So, I don't know. Interesting. Makes me wonder a little bit if it's like aluminum or something, but I don't know. It could be silver, I suppose. It's unlikely, but it could be. Maybe aluminum or tin or something like that. I don't know. If I'm really lucky, it could be something in the platinum group metals. Doubt it, but it's not possible. And so far I'm seeing at least three, maybe 3 or 4 specks of gold. But again, they're you know, flea poops, tiny little bitty things. I know last season, my buddy and I were getting to the point where we were having like in some areas of this gravel bar that I'm working right now, we were having 30 to 50 count spec counts in a pan. Now, again, they're specs. Like literally, when I say spec, I mean, you know, tiny, near microscopic 200 to 300 mesh specs. You know, nothing, absolutely nothing big, nothing noteworthy. But they were big enough to be seen, at least, and in high counts. It's a lot of fun to be getting them. And like we all say in the gold community, any gold is better than no gold, because all gold is good. Now, let's see if I can get this to where I can actually show you guys something. Takes a long time sometimes to get this black sand washed out, that's for sure. Lord. Now, tell you what, I'm actually going to get this picture with my camera on my phone, because it'll let me zoom in a heck of a lot better than the GoPro will. But the GoPro will be the evidence that it shows that I'm just getting what I'm getting. Let's see. These off so I can actually see what I'm doing. Should probably switch this over to video instead of camera mode. Okay. So here are some of the specs. You can see them. There's like 1, 2 right there. A couple more in there. You can see shining around. Some more right at the very edge here. Oh yeah. There's definitely a bunch of good bits right there. I'm not complaining. See more over there. But yeah, that's probably, I don't know, 10, 15 spec pan, I'd say. Maybe 20. Sweet. That was fun. Well, you guys, thanks for tuning in and watching. I don't think I'm really even going to do any editing on this. And I might classify up about a half a bucket to take with me. But yeah, if I do, you guys will see it. Nice piece of quartz. Quite nice. Very pretty. But yeah, if you liked it, please like the video, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, see you guys out on the river again. Till then, enjoy your adventure.